Oh my goodness, this is like the second, third time that I have tried to record this. Let's see if I can just record elsewhere. No, I can't. All right, so let's get going, team. All right, so how to ensure longevity with your weight loss results. So you've probably lost some weight before, but keeping it off can feel like a chore. It's a whole different ball game. So in this live training, I'm really pulling back the curtains on how my most successful clients make their results stick without tracking, without stressing, and without having to start over every few months. Okay, you're going to want to stick by because I go through, I think it's five very specific things. Sorry, I've got chili lip gloss on and it's just hit the back of my throat. I go through five very specific things that creates the biggest outcome. Okay, very specific things that creates the biggest outcome. So I am super pumped and excited, and hopefully this is going to be a cracker for you. So, how are we going to make sure that you get to keep the results that you want and love forever? So, number one of the five, okay, is if it's not sustainable, it's not going to be successful. So, you've really got to choose a weight loss plan or a lifestyle that you can actually stick to. And I'm talking about not just for a week, but for life. I need you to look at this and say, does this look like something that is doable in the long term? Can I do this when I'm away? Can I do this on the road? Can I do this when I'm going to visit friends? Does it look like something that, with a little bit of effort at start, will even out and um, will mean that I can keep going for life? Because a lot of us will like to try and lose a lot of weight, so we'll go in a massive calorie deficit. And let's face it, going in a calorie deficit too low is just going to throw your sustainability completely out the window, because if you go too low in your calorie deficit, you're going to be too starved for too many days, and that equals a binge. You are going to want to overeat at some point to counteract the fact that you're just not eating enough on a day-to-day basis. So when I look at sustainability, I also mean Monday to Friday, not just sorry, Monday to Sunday, not just Monday to Friday, and then have cheat days on Saturday and Sunday. You want to look at something that you can comfortably do Monday. Hang on. Let's take. I actually need my headphones in. Who needs headphones? Hopefully you can still hear me. Um, you need something that you can do Monday to Sunday, okay? And if you find something Monday to Friday and want to go for a cheat meal on Saturday and Sunday, that cheat meal is likely going to blow your calorie intake in for the entire week. That is not sustainable. So look at something that you can confidently say, do you know what? That is something that, with a little bit of gut, with a little bit of determination, I probably can try for the rest of my life. It's not something that's like a juice detox. I'm not going to cut everything out of my life right away. And I can see myself living off of that. It is sustainable. Other people live off of that. If you're looking at something like a juice detox versus a vegan diet is much more sustainable. People hold this and people are able to keep it up for years and years and years. So make sure that you're going for something sustainable, because if you go for a diet, you're going to lose, you might lose some weight, but you're going to retaliate. Your body's going to want to recalibrate. You're going to want to consume more calories or consume carbohydrates if you've cut them out. Your body is going to want to restore back to equilibrium. So you need to make sure that you're able to get all of your nutrients, therefore it is sustainable. And if it feels like a sprint, you're probably going to run out of steam. So again, when we look at sustainability, what you want to make sure is that you're not trying to lose weight really fast. That is why diets fail, because People go and lose weight super duper fast. They cut back on their calorie intake. They don't consume as much. You get the results that you want, but then that is followed by ultimately a binge. You want to go in for a cheat day. It doesn't feel good. You may get really tired and feel lethargic. You might find out that you have a deficiency. Maybe you're not getting enough protein, enough carbohydrates. So because it's a sprint, because you're getting fast results, you really need to look at the fact that, is this sustainable? Am I just withholding so much that by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the year, I'm going to be sick or starving? And most women approach weight loss with kind of urgency and unrealistic timelines, right? They want to lose a lot of weight fast. So it's so easy to get caught up in this diet mentality of, well, I really, really want to lose weight. So I'm going to find something where Carol, my friend, lost 10 pounds in 1 week because I want to look like her. Well, what you don't know is if you went with Carol, she's going to regain that weight and she's going to regain more weight. Whereas if you look at a lifestyle change, the difference is basically you are doing something slowly and considerably and mindfully versus something that is just full on restriction and something that you don't find enjoyable. If you don't find it enjoyable and it feels like you're starving yourself, that is not a lifestyle, that is not sustainable, that is a quick, short-term solution to weight loss, not a long-term lifestyle change. Okay, so be matter of factly with your urgency. So we are looking at 0.5 to 2 pounds of body fat as a sustainable weight loss. Some of my clients lose more than that in a week, but that's typically when they are recalibrating and they've gone from a highly processed diet to a whole food plant-based diet. It's very, very easy to, without feeling like you're under eating, without feeling starving, swap from a highly processed to a whole food plant-based diet and quarter the amount of calories that you're eating by doubling the quantity of food. Now, when you do that, it's so easy to drop a lot of weight. So when some of my clients are able to do that, they can lose like 3, 6 pounds in a week because they are losing a considerable amount of calories and they're doing it properly. Okay. But when the weights comes off, it does start to slow down and we do go back into that 0.5 to 2 pounds a week mode. So sometimes it is easy to lose, but you've got to look again at the sustainability. Unrealistic. Are your goals unrealistic? Do you want to lose 10 pounds in a week? If you do, go on a juice cleanse and eat nothing for a week. Go and drink freaking spinach soup for a week. Feel like dog shit, but lose your weight, right? If that is your goal, kudos to you, props to you. I couldn't do it. But if that is your goal and you want to get lean and if you want to get thin really quickly, then cool. This is not the talk for you. If you want to lose weight and you don't care about regaining, have unrealistic goals, have unrealistic timelines. Try and lose more than 2 pounds a week. That's fine. If you want it to stay off and you don't want to keep regaining because every time you regain, you actually impact your metabolism, making it harder to lose weight the next time round. If you're sick and tired of being on this yo-yo, on this hamster wheel where you're dieting and regaining, and you want it to be the last time, set realistic timelines and a realistic goal. Look at 0.5 to 2 pounds. So I would even look at 1 pound a week of body fat for the foreseeable, right? So if you've got 100 pounds to lose, that's 100 weeks, okay? Give yourself longer. So on the weeks that you aren't doing so well, or the weeks that you want to indulge more and you know that you're doing it mindfully, you get to allow that. Would you rather be in the same place in 1 year's time because you are losing and gaining and making it harder and harder to lose every single time, so you gain weight in 1 year's time? Or would in 1 year's time you lose only 100 pounds, like imagine, right? Only 100 pounds because you did it sustainably and steadily, right? You wouldn't get there next year, right? Probably not. But would you rather take your time, is what I'm getting at, with a realistic amount Or would you rather just stay stuck for life? Because I know that's probably not what you want. To be sustainable, you have to learn how to eat. You have to learn how to live. You have to learn how to think like a person who is 100 pounds less or 10 pounds less, however much you've got to lose. If you've got 100 to 200 pounds to lose, or whether you've got 5 pounds to lose, you need to learn how to eat and live and think properly in a way that doesn't feel like punishment or restriction. I guarantee you, if you've tried to diet before, you've probably tried to punish yourself in a way to lose weight, and that doesn't work, right? That perpetuates this negative relationship with food and your body, and it keeps you on that hamster cycle of using food and alcohol to punish yourself and to reward yourself. It creates a stress response. It is like literally red alarm bells. Don't use punishment or restriction to lose weight. Use a realistic approach. Okay. So 95% of women who diet, they regain their weight and more within 7 years. So if you don't want to regain the weight that you lose, you must decide on something that is sustainable. Okay. Otherwise, again, every single time you regain, you're going to make it harder and harder because you impact your metabolism, because you slow it right down, you're playing with your metabolism. It actually decreases by 10% each time, meaning every single time you lose weight and regain it and go to lose weight again, you need fewer calories to maintain. That's basically starving yourself over time. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint, right? You don't train for a lifelong journey with a 3-week boot camp mindset. You just can't go in with the balls to the wall mentality. You've got to go in and think, right, I need to pace myself. If I want results and I want results fast, I can get some results. What do I want? Some results and long-term results, or more results now, and have it to face this shit over and over again for the rest of my life. Okay. You wouldn't train for a marathon by running 26 miles in one day. You've got to build endurance team. Like one of my clients, Lorna, right? She was a woman. She tried all the diets. She saw her weight like yo-yo up and down like a bloody fairground ride for her whole life. And when she joined my signature program, which is Regenerate, she focused on sustainable habits and food. So increasing the food and bringing in the right foods that supported her and her body's needs and energy requirements so that she could lose the weight, right? The weight came right off. And she stayed there with the right habits, the same habits, and just kept chugging away. It didn't get harder with the more weight that she loses. If you're someone who has ever said, oh, I've heard that losing weight gets harder, that's because you've not found a properly sustainable approach. Okay. Um, a friend of a friend has actually told me as well about two of her friends. And I want to share with you this story because it is very typical but very shocking. So one of her friends decided to have bran flakes for breakfast and some fruit at midday with no lunch, followed by 2 glasses of Baileys in the afternoon, and maybe a bit of salad and fish for dinner. Now, if you looked at that food on a table, it would be so small, you would be like, oh my God, she's gonna lose weight. I'm so jealous of her. She's gonna be a skinny bitch. She lost 2 stone, but then has regained 1.5 stones. This is what I mean about the sustainability. If you had that kind of diet, you could not live off of that long term, right? So yes, you will lose weight, but then you're going to regain it because you're going to need to consume those calories back that you lost. Your body is naturally going to want to pull you back into equilibrium where you are consuming a decent amount of calories, where you're not in this feeling of being starved and deprived, because the body wants to try and avoid dying, right? Rightly so. So she lost 2 stone, but she gained 1.5 stones, right? Her other friend decided to skip breakfast. I'm going to skip breakfast. It's too many calories. I don't need it. She'll have cereal for lunch and something small for dinner, flushed down with some wine. Okay. Now, looking at what she eats, we might be all very impressed with how little she eats. Cool. But she has lost 1 stone and regained 2 stone. I think I got that right. So she has, by dieting, by eating less, gained a stone. That is, again, not how we want to diet. These are perfect examples of what I hear and what I see every single day of how people are trying to diet. Guys, this is not the 80s, it is not the 90s anymore. If you are still trying to cut back on all foods and eat like a freaking hamster to lose weight, you need a serious reality slap because that is not going to get you to your goals. Your body is going to shut down. Vogue might have thought that it was ideal, but it is far from ideal. Okay, we need to get this diet mentality out of our heads. It was a model thing. It was a thing for magazines. It is a not for the thing to live healthily and for a long time and to keep those results off. Okay, so get the right foundations in place. Now, topic number 2 is if you don't think differently, you'll keep doing the same thing. Yeah, if you don't think differently, you're going to keep doing the same thing as you did when you weighed 100 pounds versus when you now weigh 70 pounds, right? So long-term weight loss isn't just about a food game, it's a thought game. Most women are stuck in a loop of all or nothing. The I failed again, this should be easier. If you don't learn to think differently, you will default back to your old self every single time. Okay? You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your mindset habits. You need to start changing the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you think about failing, the way that you think about success, the way that you think about cravings, the way that you think about food and yourself and your self-worth. The way that you think is not the way that someone who weighs 50 pounds less thinks. Now, I want you to take this for example. Think of you at your heaviest. It might be now, okay? Think of you when you're at your heaviest. What was your self-worth like? What are your boundaries like? Have a think. What are your boundaries like? What is your self-talk like? Do you set promises and keep them? Do you follow through on what you say? Now, I want you to think of a much lighter version of you. If you've never been lighter, then think of a version of you or someone else that you know that has the body or the weight that you want. Okay. If you have been slimmer and you want to get back there, think of that version of you. Did she love herself more? Did she give herself more time and attention? Does she follow through on her promises? Does she say that she's going to do something and do it? Does she have more self-love, some self-respect? I'm going to guarantee you that 99% of the answers here from who's watching this on replay, most of you are going to say that the smaller version of you, right, has a totally different mindset to the version of you now. So if you take the mindset of the bigger version of you and you try and lose weight, how is that going to match up, right? It's like trying to put a square box into a round hole, one of those kids' toys, yeah? I remember playing with those kids' toys and I had the cubes and the triangles and the circles, and I have no idea what those names are in 3D, which is really bad, right? But you're trying to fit like all of those in and you turn them around and you try and squeeze them in. But to be quite honest with you, the only ones that would fit were the same shape for the same hole, right? You've got to make sure that your mindset aligns with your identity and your habits, because if the biggest version of you and the way she thinks, the way she looks about herself, the way that she loves herself, the way that she follows it through on herself, the habits that she has, the lifestyle that she has, if you think that that is going to fit into the version of you that was much smaller, that version of you that followed through on her promises and everything like that, you are barking up the wrong tree, my dear. I'm going to tell you that, okay? And if you're sitting there thinking, how dare you think that I was such a better better person. It's not about being better or worse than. It's about having a very different mindset, a square to a circle. Neither is good nor bad. I'm just saying you need to match those up. So to get sustainable results, you must make sure that your mindset matches the results that you want, okay? Otherwise, you're going to go there and you're going to ping back like a rubber band. So I think I want you to think about the voice in your head as well, right? The voice of like, I've messed up, I might as well binge. Does that smaller, tinier version of you, whether that's an ex version of you or someone else that you're thinking of, is she going to say, screw it, I fucked up, I'm just going to eat the rest of this? Or does she say, oh, look at that, I messed up, what a shame. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to carry on as normal. I'm not going to punish myself. I'm not going to reward myself for doing well at this either, by the way. I am just going to carry on as the day goes by and I'm going to learn and I'm going to find out why. Why did I overeat then? Why did I decide to go and have some food when I had food at home? You know, why did I just choose the easier option? So that smaller version of you, the one that is being more mindful, is not taking failure as a bad thing, as a slap in the face, and that she messed up. And she's not making it worse. She's not perpetuating the behavior. So you've got to think again, is that smaller version of me, does the person who has the body and the weight and the mentality and the lifestyle and the habits that I want, how does she talk to herself? How does she show up when she fails? Okay, perfectionism. Is she holding back because she's waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect meal plan, the perfect time? Or is she scared of failing, so she just isn't doing anything? No, the answer is absolutely not. The people that have achieved the goal that you want have failed 100 times over. You have to expect failure on your way to success. It just is natural. You will never get the right thing the right time. Do you know how many versions of my free 5-day challenges I have? It is insane, right? Every single one that I've done is different. Does it mean that I failed? Some of them did. One of them, nobody turned up. One of them, only past clients turned up, right? Does that mean I failed? No. Does it mean my messaging was probably off? Yes. Does it mean I needed more marketing? Yes. I learned from it. The only way that you are going to get to where you want is by changing your mindset and changing the way that you think and matching the mindset with the smaller version of yourself. And if that means throwing perfectionism in the fuck it bucket, if that means getting up after failing time and time again, then you must be doing that. Mindset is rewiring changing your mindset is basically rewiring the brain, and it's the hidden work behind every success story. Think about like updating the software on your computer, right? You can't expect your old 1990s Mac, I don't know when they were out, to run on the new Mac OS 2025, right? You can't do that because they've got new thoughts, they've got new software, they've got new experiences, new intelligence that the 1990s just didn't have, right? You must keep updating the software for the computer to run. When your mindset crashes, you're going to give up and it feels too hard. So constantly update the software, your mindset, to be able to match the results that you're getting. Otherwise, your mindset will keep pulling you back. That means that you can't keep your results, right? One of my past clients, let's just call her R for now. She sought success not because she changed the food that she ate, but because she stopped expecting to be perfect. When we had a sit down conversation and she recognized that she has to start putting out failed attempts before she gets results instead of waiting for the perfect meal plan or the perfect time or the perfect opportunity, when she recognized that, she took giant leaps and bounds. And I think that she lost about 10 pounds in about 5 weeks, just purely because she had that get up and go mentality. She matched the mentality of her 10 pounds lighter self. Is this landing? I want to know, is this landing, right? I'm only on topic two and we're half an hour in. I want to go faster because this is a Friday night team. I'm here on a Friday night giving you some damn good information. I hope you appreciate this. So topic number three, let me know if this is resonating for you in the comments, please. Just say, yes, this is resonating with me. Let me know if this is good information. Drop a little fire emoji if you're loving this. So topic number three is you can't heal your body while living in fight or flight. Your body absolutely will struggle if you are stressed out, right? Even if you eat perfectly and you exercise like a queen, if you're chronically stressed, if you're emotionally reactive or self-soothing with food or with unhealthy activities or people to try and keep weight off, you must learn how to regulate your emotions and your nervous system. Otherwise, food, alcohol, unhealthy activities will be the fallback. You will struggle with cortisol and you will struggle to keep the weight off, especially if food and sugary treats and stuff like that is going to be your escapism, is going to be the way that you decide to escape from your thoughts and your mentality or your day, from your responsibilities, from being a mum in the pantry cupboard. That is going to be your way to escape. If you can't regulate your emotions, regulate your nervous system regularly, consciously, then food, alcohol, and unhealthy activities, a cortisol body, they're all going to be fighting against you, right? Now, I'm just going to quickly let you know the things that I'm talking about so far. I'm talking about finding a sustainable approach. I'm talking about updating the software, mastering your mindset. I am talking about regulating your emotions and your nervous system. And the thing that I'm going to talk about next too, these are like a little simple sample of what we go through in the 5 day challenge, right? We're hitting off the 5 day challenge on Monday. It's Friday now. This is going to go up Friday night. I don't even know if you're going to be able to get in time for this one. If we run another one and you want to be involved, let me know. It's free. It's 5 days. It's huge, it's big. We go into so much information. There's workbooks, it's cool. It's really cool, right? And there's a lot of accountability. The whole process basically that we go through in the 5 days is kind of like a sneak peek into what I'm talking about now. It's a sneak peek into the overall program that I mentioned about earlier, Regenerate. And it's just an idea of how you can change and transform into the body and person that you want to become and then keep the results forever. So everything that I do is about sustainable weight loss. If you are here to lose 5 pounds really quickly and you don't care about what happens after that, whether you regain or never keep the weight off, then this is not the place for you. But if you want to keep the weight off, then come and join the next 5 day challenge. If you want to try and get in for Monday, make sure you message me the word challenge so that I see it. I've turned my notifications on because this challenge is blowing up. So I want to make sure I get you in over the weekend because I'm going to work on the weekend for you guys, right? If you feel like you've missed it or you're watching this past Monday, just let me know. Just drop the word challenge and I'll let you know, put you on the wait list if we do another one, okay? So the door's already open to this one. The ladies are fired up for change and they're already making new friends and accountability buddies. And it's so cute. And I just opened the doors. It's awesome. So number three here that we're talking about is that you can't heal your body while living in fight or flight. Okay. So we don't eat because we're hungry half of the time. We eat because we're triggered, we're bored, we're tired, we're overstimulated, we've got too many responsibilities. Now, quite a lot of our eating is down to that. Put it this way, when was the last time you got stressed or you got bored and you wanted to go and eat a head of broccoli? Guarantee you that's never happened to you. I was hungry, so I had a snack of cucumber, but it wasn't because I was tired or stressed or bored. It was because my belly is rumbling. But when was the last time you went for sugar or biscuits or chocolate or crisps or crisps? I just said that. Chips, I meant to say. When was the last time you ate because you were feeling an emotion or because you didn't want to think about shit that was going on in your life? When was the last time you hid from someone to eat or hid crisp packets or food packets in the bin because you didn't want to be seen? All of that tells me that your nervous system or your emotions need serving. It doesn't tell me that you've got a sugar addiction. It tells me you've got an addiction to soothing your emotions with sugar. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You've not got a sugar addiction, you've got an addiction with soothing your emotions and your physical and mental and emotional needs with sugar. A lot of people come and tell me that their metabolism is broken, that they think that their hormones are out of whack, that menopause is the reason they put on weight. No, I'm going to tell you now, even PCOS, things like that, your metabolism probably is a little bit screwed up if you've lost and regained, meaning you probably need to eat a little bit less. However, if you are overeating on your calorie intake, and this is all I'm going to talk about calories because I don't usually talk about calories, and I've been talking about it a lot recently. If you're over consuming on your calories for what your body needs, you are going to gain weight. It's not because your body is broken, it's because the mindset or the diets that you've chosen is just needs a tweak, needs changing, okay? But also quite a lot of the way that we soothe ourselves, the way that we feel better, the way that we check out, the way that we numb out, the way that we celebrate, the way that we connect with people is over food. If you get rid of the food, I like to say to my clients, right, imagine if you and your friends went around to someone's house for dinner one night and you're sharing pizza and there's a big pizza in the middle. Imagine someone comes in and takes that pizza away. I want pizza now. Imagine if someone comes in and takes that pizza away. Are you all going to sit in silence because the pizza's not there? No. So the food isn't the thing connecting and bonding you together, it's the presence. So we've got to stop telling ourselves that the food is the solution. The food is the thing that we need, right? Eat beforehand on a social event. Go and take a walk if you're stressed out. Go and write in your journal if you feel like you've got so many responsibilities or you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, okay? Your nervous system decides if you're in survival mode or growth mode. You can't create sustainable results while your body thinks that it's under attack. It's going to constantly, that's chronically and constantly together. Your body's going to chronically be fighting this fight or flight response. Okay, it's not going to be primed and ready to lose weight, to shift all of the excess fat. It is constantly thinking that you're about to die, girl. Okay. Weight loss is not just physical, it's emotional. It's talking about your emotional bandwidth. Whether you think that you're stressed or not, quite a lot of the time we are operating on stress, high stress. Speaking to a client today, and she was like, yeah, I don't feel stressed. I was like, does this, and this happen? And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, you're stressed, but you just didn't think you were stressed because you were on top of it. You felt like you were acing life. But that doesn't mean that your body's not in a stressed out state. So when we kind of went through it and talked about, her reactions and the way that she lives, she was like, holy shit, I am stressed. Her body was in a constant fight or flight mode for years and years and years. And it was only when she sat down in the evening that she was craving food because she was going throughout the day. And the moment that she got to relax, her body was like, oh my God, let's relax. I know the only time that we relax is when we eat. So we're gonna like crave all of the food so we can finally eat. So we can finally relax and emotionally disassociate. So she was craving so much food in the evenings. Tell me if you ever get this. Just drop into the chat and say, yeah, this happens to me, where you're really healthy throughout the day, all the way from the first thing when you wake up, you have a healthy breakfast, you have a healthy lunch, but you get home and in the evening after dinner, you start binging and you can't stop, right? Tell me if you've experienced this before. That might mean that something in your nervous system, maybe in the way that you regulate your own emotions, the way that you cope, is probably off. So let me know. That's not an addiction thing, it's not a sugar thing. If you think that you're addicted to sugar and it's not the first thing that you want to eat when you wake up, sorry, you're probably not addicted to sugar. You're probably addicted to your coping mechanism. And that's okay. We don't need to get rid of your coping mechanism, like swiping it out from under your feet. We just need to change it, right? Most women know what to do. They just don't have the emotional bandwidth to do it consistently. So start looking at your emotions and your nervous system. So this is actually one of the biggest phases in my Regenerate program. And we talk about this in the free 5 day challenge as well, where we talk about ways that we really need to settle our nervous system on on an hourly basis, guys, right? And it doesn't mean you have to take a 5 minute meditation every minute. It just means that you need to be regulating yourself and coping properly in the way that we were designed to cope. I want you to think of a boiling kettle, right? Most li women are living like kettles at that 99 degrees point. And the tiniest stress, sorry if this makes a lot of noise, the tiniest stress tips them into emotional eating. And our nervous system regulation keeps the water calm so you can make clear decisions. You don't want to be that kettle that's boiling away. All right, there's a huge difference between those who allow themselves to take a mental break before they eat and those who allow the immediate eat, right? Think about something happens and you just go and want to shove food in your face. I just had a session today with a client where we walked through the power of the pause, the steps in order to recalibrate your nervous system before eating. And the thing is, she already takes a pause while her hand is in the cookie jar, but she realized today that she's been using the wrong solution. You see, running away, distracting, eating something else isn't going to get to the root problem of why your nervous system is all jacked up and you're out of sorts. It's simply masking it and postponing the cravings to another day. So that's not the right solution either. So, number 4, if your identity doesn't change if your identity doesn't change, your results won't last. So, like the mindset, you need to have the right identity. If you keep thinking like the old version of you, you'll keep going back to her habits. So, long-term weight loss only sticks when you update the internal identity, not just mindset, not just the way that you think, but your identity to match your new external results. Otherwise, you will self-sabotage every time you succeed. I speak to so many women that are like, I know what to do. I know how to lose weight. I know how to eat healthy. I have no doubt. But I just can't do it consistently. But something comes up, but then this happens, but then life happens, but then the dog's birthday, but then the hamster shits on the carpet. Whatever happens, something comes up and we can't stick to our weight loss goals. Realistically, guys, if you've got a good, healthy diet, and if you've got a good, healthy diet, and you get a month or a couple of weeks down the line and you find yourself giving up and you have to go back and you're doing this constantly, right? You're not updating your identity. You're not updating your identity. If you can go for a couple of weeks, it might be sustainable enough, but I guarantee you're also not updating your identity. Weight loss is a system, right? It's a whole system, but most people try to change their actions without changing their beliefs and their identity, which is driving their actions. So you have to start being the version of you who naturally makes good decisions, not just pretending to be her. Now you're going to be like, oh my God, Bianca, what's the difference between the mindset that you're talking about? You've got to update your mindset. And what's the difference between the mentality? Well, the mindset is about the habits and it's about the choices that you're making on a day-to-day. The identity and beliefs is about the person that you genuinely believe that you are. So it's, I believe that I'm worth it. I believe that I can lose weight. I believe I can stay there. I believe that I am a 40 pounds person, not a 100 pounds person, right? Your identity is your internal belief system, not just the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. It might sound similar. Let me know if it sounds similar, but they are very different. The identity is where we self-sabotage. The mindset is where we just choose the wrong things, right? So self-sabotage is very subconscious. We kind of don't realize why we're doing it. We can be doing really well and then something happens and we kind of get in our own way and we allow things to get in our own way. So I like to say breakdown happens right before breakthrough, because your identity just isn't matching the new results that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. I want you to think of a bungee cord. Has anyone ever seen those old school games where someone's strapped to a bungee cord and they've got to run and run and run and run, and the bungee cord stretches and it stretches and it stretches, and then all of a sudden it pings back and they fall and they fly back. Think of that bungee cord as your identity, as your belief system, right? So every time you're stretching and you're running away from your your beliefs and identities, and you're trying to lose weight, step into a different version of you, you're stretching that bungee cord. That's your identity and your belief. And you're stretching and you're stretching and stretching. And breakdown, in other words, you're going to ping back, will happen right before breakthrough. If you keep going at that toughest, hardest point where the bungee cord is stretched really finely, like an elastic band, it's really, really stretched. If you keep going, you will break that, right? And you will run free, and you will be able to upgrade yourself into the next version of you. So breakthrough happens after breakdown. If you don't carry through that maximum stretch zone, you're going to ping back. Um, Oh my goodness. Like, I have had this experience with the bungee cord over and over again. Some of you know that I actually worked in hospitality for 15 years, and I had to overcome becoming a coach. I had to overcome becoming a health coach. I was like, what the fuck? Who do you think you are? I had to work through imposter syndrome when I was practicing. I had to slap a price on my services. I mean, that made me sick. I had to show up on camera. If you've seen my first live video, oh my God, I was petrified. I had to step into a version of me who was comfortable showing up on camera. I had to start before I believed I could actually do it. And every single step of the way, from going from a full-time waitress to a full-time health coach with clients who are absolutely killing it. They're changing their lives around. They're reversing diabetes, reversing heart disease. They're losing 20, 30, 50 pounds. I had to go from someone who was so uncomfortable with telling and suggesting someone else what to do to living a life where that is what I do, and I charge, and I have a high ticket clients. I am in their pockets. I am doing everything I possibly can for them. I had to step into that identity many, many times along the way, right? I had to change my identity from someone who served other people alcohol to someone who changes somebody's life. That is a huge identity shift. That was from someone who felt like they didn't belong, they didn't have a purpose, they didn't serve people in a productive way that just made people drunk. That's who I genuinely believed I was. And I had to step into this almost like heroic attitude and belief and identity of someone who can actually help and change and save lives. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, blowing smoke up my ass because I'm like the best fucking person out there. That's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having to change my worth, the belief of how much I was the worth, the belief that I had something to put into society, and had to change that and really, really shift that before I was ready. Oh my God, way before I was even ready, in order to believe that I could do it. Now, could I do it at first? Was it difficult? Hell yeah, it was difficult. Do I now intrinsically believe that I am a good coach, that I can change people's lives? Abso-fucking-lutely. How am I going to get to the next level and become, let's say, worldwide famous? Go on, let's say Netflix, for example, get podcasts and that. Do I have to, can I do that believing who I am right now? No. That will not stretch me. That will not get me to that version. Why? Because I don't believe that at the moment I'm like pop star famous, right? I'm not that kind of coach. That belief in me will not get me to the next level. So I am currently working on changing my beliefs, stepping into that version so that my actions and behaviors can align with that, so I get to keep my results forever. It's all about changing the person, the beliefs, the habits, the mindset that you have to become the person that you want to. If you don't, you might see some results, but you will revert back right like that bungee. That bungee cord's going to snap you back. It's going to throw all of your results that you've gained all out of the window, and you're going to have to start again, right? I told a client, let's call her Elle for now. I told a client recently, sorry, I had a call with a client recently, and she just said that she totally lost her mojo, right? She's been on a 6 months journey in she's lost over 22 pounds. She started exhibiting signs of like giving up and not trying, and she lost her pizzazz. She's lost her drive to follow through on even easy and simple action steps. Naturally, I started digging. I wanted to get to the bottom of why she felt like she didn't care. After some questions, we recognized that the last time she reached 170 pounds was when she was knee deep in Weight Watchers. She felt like absolute shit. She was deprived, she was starving, she was eating 3 protein bars and 1 shake a day. That was it, right? She was like my friend's friends, eating like a fucking squirrel. And at this time, some beliefs were created in association with the 170 pounds and the life that she was living at that moment. The feelings of deprivation, desperation, starvation, stress, amongst many others, were kind of like created, right? And so she had a belief that was subconsciously driving her behaviors and thoughts. Of course, she didn't want to lose weight now because when her brain thought that she was nearing closer to 170 pounds, that same weight that she was at when she was living a horrible, horrible life, her brain was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to feel like that again in order to get to 170 pounds. After just one chat, one call, some very specific action steps to rewire that neural connection, she felt totally elated, inspired, and excited to move forward. And this happened yesterday. And today I got a message from her saying about how she has been able to totally rewire that perception of that specific weight. So change her belief system about what she believes as someone who weighs that, and her identity of how she is different to that past version of her in order to step into that. So what she was doing is she was exhibiting behaviors of, I don't want to do this, I don't care, because she was scared that she had to become that person that she didn't enjoy to get to that weight that she wanted to get to. So we rewired her neural pathways, we changed her identity, we changed her belief, and now she believes that that is now that, right? Now she believes that to get to her goal weight, she can experience all these amazing feelings. She can feel good about it. She doesn't have to feel starving, deprived, and all of this and all of that. So she then changed her identity to get to the next level. So at every single level of your journey, you've got to make sure that all of these things that I've talked about, the whole process, I said that there were 5, but there was actually 4. The whole four steps are keeping up in alignment. Is your diet still sustainable? Are you still eating the right things? Are you still eating in balance? Are you still eating full stop, right? Is your mindset up to date? Do you need to change the way that you think about food, the way that you think about perfectionism? Do you need to look at cravings in a different way? Do you need to regulate your emotions and your nervous system? Does your belief and identity system need to change? Does it need an up level? This whole process is the same things that we take a sneak peek into with the free 5-day sustainable weight loss challenge. Okay. The doors are open. I told you, for the one that comes on Monday. So this coming Monday, the 12th of May, if you're watching this on replay, just drop me the word challenge and I'll let you know if I'm running another one anytime soon. And I'll try and get you on the wait list for that. But if you get into my inbox quick enough, I might be able to get you on Monday. There are replays available if you can't catch them all. But that is exactly what needs to happen along the way to get to your results. If you're a client watching this, I would love for you to drop in the chat if any of this resonated for you, if you recognize some of the things that I talked about as being the things that we've worked on. Let me know if they have helped you in your journey. I would love to hear. I would also love to hear from you if you're not a client, if you found this really fucking useful. You might be watching this on YouTube, which I've just realized. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment and let me know if you found this useful. I know this was a really long training. I was not expecting it to be this long, but I had some really good notes and my brain is totally fired up. If you're watching this on YouTube, I advertise my free 5-day challenge on Facebook. It is the Women's Plant-Based Weight Loss Support Club on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Comment on this post or come and join us. It's a fantastic community. We've got 1.5 thousand women in there. It's a small tribe, small community. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of accountability. There's a lot of freebies in there. I give so much away for free. If you are not in there, you are missing out. So hit like, hit subscribe wherever you're watching this, team. Give me some love, give me some support because I want to give you some support. I want to get you to your goal, whether it's to lose 5 pounds or 500 pounds. I want to get there. I want to show you that your body is not broken. It's just the way that you've been taught around mindset and weight loss and stuff like that. So sending you lots of love. I am Bianca Jane. I'm that plant-based weight loss coach. If you need anything, don't forget to reach out and don't forget to subscribe and join the next free 5-day challenge because they are fire. Sending you lots of love, team. Over and out. See you later. Bye.